So the page that I'm on right now is actually a blog article. It looks like you're adding in content just fine. So it looks like all the fields and everything that you're doing just right. So the only thing that isn't showing on the top of the page is the sign up block for the newsletter. So that'll basically be similar to this. So when you actually view the top of the header, you're going to see when you're logged out the text field for you to enter your email address, and then you can click subscribe and you'll be subscribed to the newsletter, and I'll show you how you can actually access all those emails.
And do you know how to style that correct? It can just match exactly what was on the blog page from Wander.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just styling tweaks, so that'll be taken care of.
Can you make wherever it's currently blue, make it our pink instead?
Sure. Do you actually have like the hex number for it, like the exact shade of pink?
Yeah, it's EC008C.
Okay. Actually, I don't want to type it on the screen. Would you be able to message that to me or email it to me?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you see the Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google, that stuff?
Yes.
Can you swap those out with the ones that they use on the Wander profile where it's just black and white images?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I can take a look at that.
Okay.
No problem. Okay. So what you're going to see here is this is going to be the image or the audio or whatever you're going to have uploaded to the page and the text. I want to add some more padding here, so that'll be so smushed. These are actually related blogs, which are going to be automatically figured out based on the tags that you add to each blog. And it'll show the most related based on the tags. So as you can see, like design, each of them has the design tag, so you'll see all of those. When you're actually adding content, actually, let me show you one thing first. So the way you're actually adding tags is just fine, but there is another way to add them as well. So if you went to structure and then taxonomy, and then if you go down to where it says tags and click list terms, here you can actually manually add your tags too. So I can add a tag and say like new tag and just save it. You don't have to fill in any fields or anything. And then when you actually go to visit all your tag list, you'll see your new tag there. So where that's going to show up is when you're actually adding a blog. So you can fill in all your fields here. You can choose your date. I see that you've already done this, so you know how to do this. This is your body field for the blog. You choose your language. Now you can also choose not to add an image or add an image. If you choose to add an image, you can add one image. You can add more than one image. If you want a slider, or you can add a video field where you can just have one big video showing, or audio if you want to upload an audio file.
Denise, that bottom one, you see that last one that says featured media all the way at the bottom?
Yes.
That one is actually mandatory, but it's not red. So we had a few confusions where we didn't realize that it was a mandatory field.
Sure.
So can you make sure you put the asterisk on that one?
Yeah, I'll take care of that. I'll make sure that it's, because what that's going to do is that's going to be the one that's featured in like the related blogs and things like that. So when you go to topics here, this is displaying all the tags. So where we are just under the taxonomy, these are all the tags that are going to show. So if you don't see it there, you can either add it on the taxonomy page directly, or you can add it the way you were doing it. So you can just add something just as you were doing it there. So you can just add in, oops. Why is it not working for me? How are you actually adding your tags? You were adding it just like this, correct?
Yeah, he was just typing it in.
Isn't that just the list, but you can't add news there? You have to go the other way to add new ones?
Yeah, that's the funny thing, is because technically it is a list, so you can just select from the ones from the taxonomy. But I swore earlier that you can actually manually add it right there too.
Well,
but
I mean, it's probably, do you want to add custom ones, or do you want to just have them choose from
I think we should have a list and choose from the things that are probably, and then we go back to the, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cleaner. It's okay if it doesn't allow them, because I think it's better if we kind of enforce
Control
a list that we can all agree on, so that that way the system can correctly link together related articles. Because I think that if people start entering their own, they're gonna start typing in, misspelled words, and then it gets more complicated.
Like odd words, yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so you can add multiple tags here. You can add as many as you need there. The featured media is just going to be the featured. Now, as far as the featured media goes, did you want to just feature an image, or did you like how it is where you can actually feature a video or an audio?
I don't know, can we just randomly add those things?
Yeah, you can add one of the three. Okay, so this is the image that's gonna show up when you're listing.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this is basically going to be the image that is going to show when you're on. So like, for instance, I selected an image, right, for my featured media, and I go to save the page. I didn't upload an image. So basically, when I go down here, when you look at the related blogs, that featured image file that you uploaded is going to be the one that's going to display in the carousel.
Okay.
What about the one that's displayed when you just go to /blog? Is that the same image?
So now this, actually I gotta fix this page because it looks like the JavaScript broke a little bit, so you're seeing like these giant spaces. Basically that actually looks like this on my local, so
Okay.
some reason the JavaScript is.
But again, is that that image that we're seeing there, is that
So yes,
featured?
so this should be the related, the featured image too. So I'm gonna double check it and make sure, but that's what the featured field is for.
Okay, so I think, and Pippa, you correct me if I'm wrong. I think that we should only upload featured images for that, and then that second image that you're adding at the top of the blog post, that could be either audio, image, video. So I think we have it backwards, basically.
Can you repeat that again? I didn't think I understood what you meant.
All right, so you see that media right there? Scroll down,
Right.
right there, that one. So that one, it's okay that it could be any of those, that's perfectly fine. But I think that for the featured media, it should only be the image.
Only an image for featured, got it.
Because then when you click on it, then you can play
Yeah.
audio file or video.
Okay, so I'll remove those other two. So basically, you don't want the audio to be there, right, either?
No.
Okay.
You're just selecting your thumbnail, basically.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
basically what it is.
That makes it,
And
okay.
if you can call it, maybe like thumbnail, you wanna call it thumbnail?
Sure, log thumbnail, thumbnail.
If you can call it the field thumbnail, that would be more clear for us as to what the image does.
Okay, thumbnail, sounds good. Just make a note here. Okay, got it. So yeah, it looks like the only thing, if you see any visuals that you want to change, things like that, but I'm going to fix the header today so it shows the newsletter sign up. And I'm going to also fix the JavaScript so that way it's making sure that the carousels are working as they are in my local.
What goes
Looks like-
underneath there's a menu bar to the right,
To the right.
underneath the
Social media?
what goes under there?
Now scroll up to the top.
Okay.
You see the right spacing where it says topics and then.
Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest,
Yes.
what goes below that? Was it
That. Actually, I think the design that you have, I'll double check. It's just because the screenshot you sent me, the mock-up, was just copied directly from the Wander theme, which is just a bunch of very random text and things like that.
I think it's a menu that has like the next application deadline and a history of stuff, isn't it?
Can you look at Pippa's design document?
I can pull it up too.
Yeah, let me see. Come on, get this out of the way. Oops. Come on. All right. Blog. So here it is here.
Is that the document Pippa sent you as the, is the what you sent her?
So, yeah, because it has categories, because we're.
Can you scroll to the bottom for a second, Denise?
Mhm.
Do you see this little notify me and all that stuff?
So this is just a newsletter sign up again. I'm just going to drop the block in again at the bottom of the page.
So Denise, I just want to make sure that you remember that anything that on those templates that show up that aqua blue should be the magenta pink. So it's not only the hovers, but the buttons as well.
And so everything that's the blue
Yes,
changed.
that aqua blue, change it to the pink.
Okay, even buttons and all, right?
Right, but only if the design has the aqua blue, correct?
Got it. Okay.
So what I was imagining is that they could click the categories down the side and they would be like art direction, they would be different, whatever our categories
But
are.
right now we don't have categories.
No? Okay, well down the side,
So what we could do is use the tags as categories. She's rendering the tags this way because that's the template. But if we want, we can have her create the tags as category, and when you click on them,
yeah,
filter. Did you hear what I said, Denise?
I think so. So basically, you want the tags to actually filter down.
Yeah, to be like, basically act like the category. So if you were to click on the design, it would only show a list of design tag.
unless we want it to be like an archive where it's 2014, 2000.
Well, we can do an archive below that.
Okay,
So that way, okay, so you see where it says categories?
Right.
What we want is those to be the actual tags in that fashion, vertically aligned. And then for each one to be a link, so that when you click on it, it filters the list so that it only shows blog posts of that type. And then below that, we want to start building up an archive similar to the one we have on our site now. So that as the years go by, we're able to accumulate.
2014 or 2000.
Right.
17,
Okay.
16, 15 or something.
So archive them by the year.
Probably, do we need to do it by month? Do people do that?
Oh, we did it by month because it got, no. No, I think either by year or month year.
Because if you could have the calendar year, but after that you just need years. You don't want to go, you don't want months of all of 2015. You just want 2015 and a drop down the months.
Okay, so do you want to do year only then? The thing is, we do a lot of blog posts recently because we know it works. So that's why on our site we divided up by months because we realized that when you click on the year, the list just goes on and on and on. So that way they can filter.
Yes, but I think it should be like 2015. When you click on 2015, then you get the years below, the months below it.
Gotcha. All right, Denise, so here, I want you to tell me how easy it would be to do the following. So the archive piece that I'm mentioning, right, which you can see an example of it on our current website, people wants to be able to list them by year. So the archive, it would say archives, and then it would be like 2017, then 2016, and so on and so forth. When the person clicks on it, it would be like a drop down, a little hover, like it would expand, accordion style, and then list the months that have blog posts in them. And then the person can click that and get a list of blog posts that are for that month and that year. Oh, we lost it. For that. Can you call her back, Rob?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. I see it went silent for a second. I don't know what happened there, but I'm gonna reshare my screen again.
These categories can be extensive.
Okay. So I didn't really hear any of what you were starting to say.
Could we do an archive of years, and when you clicked on, for example, 2016, it would then have January through December of months you could then click on again? We're trying to figure out how to archive stories.
It's important, just so you know, for SEO purposes. So it's very important.
So I'm thinking, what if we just had it like an archive and had it by year, so it'd be like 2016, 2015, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you clicked on like 2015, it would take you to the page that just shows all of the blogs from 2015, and I can put them in order starting from like earliest to latest, or latest to earliest, whichever.
There would be 75 posts
Okay,
or more, maybe 100 posts.
okay, so we can just have like a pager,
So let me,
or like,
sorry to interrupt, Denise. Is it
Sure.
possible to filter them by year and month? But, okay, so I'm not sure how much you heard from my previous explanation before we got disconnected. So, Pippa's best case vision for this is, yes, initially you start out with the list of years, but when you click on it, it expands like the accordion does and shows you the months underneath. And then the person would be able to click on a month and filter only the blog post for that year and month.
We do 2 blog posts a week usually,
okay,
except for like Christmas week or Thanksgiving, you know,
great,
holidays.
holiday.
So if someone clicks on a year, they're gonna have they're gonna have 100 posts to look at,
Right,
unless they're small enough. Otherwise, we might wanna subdivide it more, the listing into months also.
sure.
What do you think is the best solution?
So you know what I could probably do it so where if you clicked on a year, I'm thinking easiest solution would be clicking on a year, going to the page, having all of them filtered down by year, and then have another filter maybe on the sidebar of the top or wherever that filters down by month.
So the 2 distinct views, basically, you're saying first click year, then you filter down again after the page refreshes to the month.
Yeah, so it'll probably be one view, I'm thinking, but it'll probably just have 2 exposed filters. So one would be for the year, and then one again would filter down even deeper by month.
And is that easier to program than just when it does it by year, and when you click on the year, it has a little sub-menu below it that has the month?
It might be easier the other way offhand, because then you're putting exposed filters within exposed filters, and then I would have to add some, like figure out how to add what the custom JavaScript will be, so that way it would be able to separate those 2. I mean, I can see if offhand when I'm actually doing it, if that might be an easier solution when I actually get hands-on with it.
Can you do it by year first and get it done, and then add the other filter to it?
Yes, definitely.
Then do it for a year now, and we can see how that looks for us to see if we need to go to the second stage.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, that's what the categories is. Those are the subjects.
And I think there's a search.
Is there a search with this or not?
That's actually one thing that I noticed. Let me see.
On the top right corner of the theme, if you notice, there's a search little.
Oh, that's the actual. I think that's the site search for the Wander site.
Right.
But
Can
we
we add
have
something
to
similar above, so that you see that sidebar? Is it possible to add a search piece there?
Yeah, we should be able to do that. So let's see.
Though I would like to have a search for the site so they could say tuition and they could find.
Right. That we can definitely do that. So where would you like the search to be? Do you want me to include that, like maybe like a little icon, and then when you click it, it expands, and then the text field, and then you can type in there? Or do you want the text field always visible to the user in the header?
Which one? You talking about the blog or the site? Which search?
For the site.
Can we see how Wonder does it? Can you go to the Wonder theme to see how they do theirs?
Sure.
Maybe it has a nice effect that you can just copy and save yourself the work.
Let's see, so they have. Okay, so theirs is a little differently. I've actually never seen it done this way before. Usually it's like the new thing is to click on it and then it slides out from the side to type. But
I kind of like the Wonder one. I think it's nicer because it draws their attention to what they're
Okay.
about to do.
No problem. Okay, so that'll be the site search then, right?
Correct.
Same as the Wander. Okay. And then you actually need a blog search too?
It would be nice. I mean, I don't know if people wants it or not. I was thinking that if a person's on the blog page and they search, it'd be better if they search just the blog and not end up getting content that's not related to what they're looking for.
Okay, where are you envisioning putting this search? Where would you like me to put that
You see
for the
where,
blog?
you see where it says about Pure 5?
Yes, right over here.
It could be in that, I would put it in that side menu.
Okay,
And then you can just say something like, search the blog,
sure, okay.
because that search would only search blog content. So that way it could go through all the archives, through all the new stuff.
Right, okay. Okay, got it. Okay, so I'll add those in. I'll get working on them. Okay, and then we have, just to make sure, so where categories is, this is going to be the tags that we currently have, but styled like this.
Yes, but Pippa was making a comment that, so I have a question to ask, obviously, and then, so I'm throwing wrenches in here. The first thing is Pippa made a comment that that list may become unwieldy, because there are a lot
Oh, right,
of tags that she can already off the top of her head think about.
right.
But to add to it, how do we handle language tags? Because these are all English, but we may have some that are in German, and we're gonna have some that are in Spanish.
We were gonna have a language search for the blog, if you remember,
Mm-hmm, yes.
and it's a drop down at the top, isn't it?
Yes, I actually have, I started working on that in my local. So basically, you can choose the different city there, and then that'll actually filter down based on all the blogs for that location.
Except it needs to be languages, I believe.
I think we were gonna keep it English, Spanish, German, and then we were Portuguese.
Let me go back to the content type here. Actually, I'll check it on your site. So right now we have language,
Correct.
right.
So it's gonna be language, not country.
We also have, okay, so we also have the location field. Let me see.
Yeah, because we were,
Oh, we were gonna do both.
yeah,
I'm trying to find.
I think I have layouts for these. 'Cause, I mean, we had figured this out, it's just nonsense.
It's not bad with us,
Nonsense.
It's the leave us for Georgia.
Guys are taking so long.
Yeah, see, I have it so where they can render based on the school location, which is the city select.
I'll look it up. That's your email.
Yeah.
Let's see.
See,
Also, it is by the city. Okay. We stand corrected.
So, did
And
you
then-
want to keep?
but certain posts we could tag for multiple cities. So when we go to write a post, let's say we're writing one that applies to any school in the world, we could tag every city. Like
Oh,
select
yeah,
all.
I can just have that so it's unlimited rather than just one.
Yes.
Okay.
And something where it's select all or it's, just US or, we could just pick whatever cities we're gonna tag right before we do that.
Okay, so type for multiple locations. Okay, got it.
And then on the side, we had a drop down or something that was by language, right? Or how are we doing language on this? I don't remember.
That's a good question, because I'm not sure either. I know we were tagging it, but I didn't know if that was just for your reference or what we were doing with that.
Should we have language? Does the blog post have a language field right now?
I believe it actually, I go
Or
back, I
just
think it
say-
actually did. It does have a language.
Okay. Did you enter language?
Yeah, I just put English.
Is it, okay, so is that a drop down or is that
Yeah, that was the default, I didn't try anything else. English was one of the choices, so.
No, it's fine. Okay, so we do have a language field.
So yeah, so where I have languages is the same as the tag. So I actually have in the taxonomy, I have a language vocabulary where you can actually enter your different languages here, and then you can select them from the drop-down or from your autocomplete field.
Is there a drop down for language
Yes.
to view it in? And where is it?
If you go to the content type itself. Can
No,
you-
I meant where is it viewed?
Oh, I don't think it is viewed.
Yeah, we actually don't have a display for it.
I think the purpose was that by tagging it, we would then be able to decide or filter whether it's shown in the particular language or something. The same thing with the city. If we were choosing a city is for that filter at the top.
Well, they're choosing a city because they're seeing every blog post,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm. And then be able to then filter by language or city.
How do they filter for language? That has to be on the side. Right now, we can filter by city, but we don't have a filter for language. I thought the language one, we decided to put on the
I
side.
think we did in a similar fashion. And I think the city as well. I think both were on the side, no? But then you said also in the menu we could keep the cities.
By the blog here is by city. It has it up there. But let's say you're, can we put a language filter on the side, Denise, where it says Pure 5 by the search? That says,
So basically the same way that we have categories, again, similar
Right.
style, but languages basically, and it would work as a filter.
So basically just have like another one that says language, I guess, and then just have it filter down for all the languages that you have.
yeah, it could be a drop down though.
But it should keep it, I think it should keep the context. So if the person's already filtered Miami or Spain or whatever it is that they're filtering, Madrid, if they choose a no, not really though. We're the only ones that may have English and Spanish. Brazil may have, never mind.
Do we need language? Because like, if you're in,
If we filter by city, then it's gonna be whatever that language writes the content in.
if we choose to filter it on the side, can we add that at a later date by language? Is that an easy thing to add?
Yeah, I mean, we should be able to because it'll probably just be editing the view and creating another like exposed filter to filter
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Let's add that later then,
okay.
because then we can figure out if we think we need it.
So, too, when we actually do the translation, if you're viewing a certain country anyway, wouldn't you be seeing all the content in their language anyway?
Yeah, that's the kind of the comment that I had. I think that's why people's gonna leave it out for now.
And see, okay,
Right, and then once it goes live or once we start loading and we start realizing what works and what doesn't, we may decide to add it later.
okay, makes sense. Okay. And these are the little icons you want, right? Those
Correct.
specific ones.
So wherever you find the list of socials on the templates, it should be that same style.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like me to change here?
I think we're good now for the blog as long as the layout at the top and the header
Yes,
is
Mhm.
what they have. I liked that well.
sure. Yeah, I can add that in. Pippa, also, I worked over the weekend on, remember how you wanted for the student work to be able to select and organize the layout for, like if you wanted a masonry layout or if you wanted a slider of
Yes.
images or slider of videos. So I actually reworked the content type for student work. And I have it so where now I just got to push it to your server so you can actually play around with it and see if that works for you. So when you're adding a student work project, you can physically select if you want a masonry layout or if you just want a carousel, and then you should be able to say which one you want first. You can organize them on the page yourself.
Wonderful.
Do you have
Yeah.
a sample that we can see already?
Let me see here. I think I might have it on my local. Let me check. Add content. Student. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to add in some dummy stuff real quick. Okay, ignore this one. I got to remove that file from my logo. So basically, your featured image, ignore these because that's going to be removed. www, they were just test ones I was doing. So basically, you're going to see this one called media display. And when you click on it, you can select if you want a carousel or a masonry layout. So that way, if you wanted a masonry layout, you can add in all of your images here. And then let's say you do that, you upload a bunch of images, and then you say, okay, directly under that, for whatever reason, you want to add a carousel. You can click Add Carousel. And then for the carousel, you can either select whether you want it to be all video, like slider, or student work image or images as a slider. So you can select if you want one or the other. So let's say you wanted a slider of video, you can add in all your video URLs here, and then when you're viewing the page, it'll automatically generate your video slider. And I think I actually have one created. Let me check. Might be this. Is it this one? So yeah, I just threw these together. So basically here, I'm going to change that little hover arrows, but this is just a slider of videos. They're the same video, but.
Is it possible to make those little dots at the bottom either a little bit closer to the image so it's not taking up so much space?
Just move them up? Yeah, sure, no problem.
And then the gap, right? Close that gap a little bit?
Yeah, if you could have them tighter.
Yep, no problem. It's just spacing. And this is just your carousel of images that you can go through as well. So you basically, if you wanted, a carousel of up here of video first, and then you want, let's say, a masonry layout under here, which I didn't actually add in this page, and then you want images, so you can have as many as you want on a page in whatever order that you choose.
I have a question. Did you solve the issue of the cropping for this?
Yes, actually, I think I changed it on this one, but how I'm going to have it is, these I think are all the same, but for instance, let me see if I have one. I thought I had another one that had like longer images.
I think for the
it might be this one. Okay, so actually this one is one that I added the masonry layout to. So if you wanted to add your masonry layout wherever on the page, you can. And this is a tiny image, so ignore that because I think broke. There must be a JavaScript error somewhere. I got to figure that out. But basically, it looks like it's for the images only. But basically how it was is when you actually slide, if the image is square like this, it'll show. But if the next image was taller, it would show centered, just taller.
Or we can just stack images on top of each other, right? A narrow one or the fat one.
What do you mean by stack?
Can we put independent images by themselves?
One on top of another by adding another carousel, but just putting one image in the carousel?
Oh, like if you just wanted, yeah. If you added a carousel, let's say, but you just have one image, it'll just show through one image there.
And it could be a tall image or a narrow image.
Yes, exactly.
It changes height, in other words.
Yes. That's actually how I had this, and I don't know what happened. I must have made a change on it somewhere, but yeah, it was changing. Like if I had a long image, like say this one was really long, when I went to click on this slide would actually expand to fill the height of this image.
Okay, sounds good. We wanted to know if, before anything else, you could finish tweaking the blog and the student work section so we can get a feel for those.
Yep.
We had a couple of other changes on the student work. If you scroll to the top,
okay,
where the arrow buttons are.
Okay, let's go on your page here.
Okay, here, the NE 2013, those years, we would like it to match what the Wander does. So instead of any, it's just ALL, all, and it's the wrong size font and things like that, and there's no dashes on the side.
Okay, so change the any to all and then make sure this the font and style is the
And
same.
size, and it turns gray when it's active.
Got it. Yeah, I can easily do that. There's no problem. Okay.
Then.
And that's from the Wander, right? Okay.
Correct.
And then there's also a image at the top. And it says
Yes.
student work at the top and all of that.
Yeah, so basically, I think this, let me go back here, my little thing here, student work. So actually where that is coming from is when you actually add in, that's the other thing I'm going to push up to for you is the basic pages, because I was revising the content type. So that's pretty much going to cover all of the sub pages and everything across the site. But when you go to your student work, so that landing page that you're seeing, how it's working is if you actually go to student work, it takes you this, right? Because that's the URL. But if you edit it, here, this is where you can actually add in the hero.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll just show it to you, like for a dummy, let's say.
Great. Great.
Because later then we can go back and then change it now that we know where it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll fix up the header and things like that because I know there's a little bit of issues with that, so don't worry about that. So basically, you just have to fill that in, so you can ignore everything else on the page and just hit publish. So then when you actually go to your student work page now,
great.
Whoops, the styling and everything, like I'll be working that out. So that's where your header comes from.
Perfect.
Great, and can you put the logo up there too?
Yes, that's right. I'll add that in.
Okay. Yeah, we would love for you to tweak the header and all, because then that gives us a feel of what we're really wanting to have.
I know what you mean. It's bothering me too. Okay. As far as the logo goes, you have the animated GIF, right? Can you tell me where exactly you want it? Because I think you only wanted that in certain pages, right? Wasn't it?
Well, I think for now, you can load it on all pages, but the only difference was that we were going to give you logos that had the city for the location city pages.
Okay.
And the program pages too. So if you were on
Miami Art Direction, then you would get the Miami at School Miami logo, right?
Well, if you were on the art direction page, it would
There's no
tell you art. Well, the idea thing would say art direction. Miami.
Oh, you have one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
But for now, I think she can just add the one that she has everywhere.
Right.
And then
we'll give her the list where what goes where. So
because if she does that, then it's easier for me to tell somebody what it is they have to design. If she just tosses that.
All right. So yeah. So just for now, the animated logo on all the pages.
Okay, sounds good. Also, one thing I was working on too was the locations, all the contact pages too. Like this site's a little, okay, get this out of here. So each location has its own map displayed, and then it'll have its own contact form too. So basically, if you submit this, and I'll show you where that is real quick so you know. So if you go to structure and then contact forms, you're going to see a contact form for every location that you have. And here you can actually, if let's say you get a new location and you want to add a form for them, you can just go over here and click clone. But if you decide to change the recipient email, which I'm sure you are, if you edit that location, here you can actually just change the email address of who is going to go to, and you can actually add multiple too if you want a few people to receive it from one location. And you can change something, the thank you message or an auto reply message if you want to send the user an auto reply message.
Is there this is great. Is there also a main contact page where they select who they want to contact?
Yes, actually, that's one thing I am finalizing. Oops. What am I gonna do? I was actually finalizing that. I have to add in, again, this is the text, ignore that. But I was printing all the different locations there. And this is going to be like your giant image, for example, where it's just going to repeat under that. So that's what that is.
Okay.
But all the locations will be here, and then I'm not sure if I have them. Yeah, I have them linked working. So I just don't have the map of my local. I have it on your site though, so I made a change. But basically, it'll just link it directly to that particular location contact form.
How come when we're looking at yours, on the student work, the header was correct and how it was working, but the last one, it was not correct? Like this one, there's too many things across there.
Oh, that's probably because,
There's a primary and secondary menu.
oh, you're talking about the menus up here?
Like this one is not correct, they're only,
It just might be like a styling tweak for CSS. What was the other page, just so I can make sure I know
go to
it?
student work, it was the most correct.
On my site or for yours?
I don't know what you just showed us.
Go to yours for a minute to see.
I think, let me check yours.
That is the most correct, yeah. Home, admissions, program, blog goes to the
Oh,
top.
these links here, yeah, they're just, we can add those in easily. So as pages are created, we can actually, like, for instance, I'll show you where.
Like
They're
blog goes to the top, but contact us goes to that is a primary one.
Are those auto-generated for us, or do we have to manually manage those?
You can, you have two eyes. So either, let's say, probably the best way is to do this. So if you go to structure and then go to menus, your main navigation is the one you're seeing there, like the main nav at the top.
Okay.
So here you can actually add links in. So let's say I have, these are the main ones: home, admissions, programs, blog, right? And let's say I want a new one and just call it, I don't know, new link. And then I want to link that to, let's say, the student work page. If you start typing, this will show you all the, excuse me, pages. So you can just select which one, just keep it enabled. Here, if you want it under your main navigation, which is, your main nav, you can just select main. If you want it to fall under, let's say, blog for whatever reason, so that way, if you hover over blog, it'll show up underneath that. But if you just want it in a main nav, just click main nav, keep it as is. The other option would be is if you want it in the secondary navigation, which I think it's just a matter of a little tweak. So, but you would see second nav there, and that would just display at the very top bar that you see. So main nav, save. Now when you go back to the site.
Now, do we want home in the main one? Don't people usually know to click?
No, we can remove that. Yeah, we can fine tune the actual menu.
Can I do it right now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
And a lot of times too.
So if I go to home,
Just a.
it says edit and reset.
So home, if you go to, I'll show you here. You go to menus, main nav. You see where it says enabled? Just uncheck that and just save it. Sometimes, because it's in the cache, you might have to clear the site's cache before it to actually show. You see how it's still there, even though I have a typo in my new URL. But
and then it says wait.
That's the order.
yes, exactly. So that's the wait. I like that. You can rearrange them. So your best bet is just to drag it above or below, whichever one you want. You can ignore the little number wait field.
Where do I drag?
So you see this little icon on the side, the little crosshair?
No.
Yeah, she's not getting that.
I have no crosshairs.
It's weird. Maybe try refreshing your page. Maybe it's because I just cleared the cache. I was probably clearing it while you were clicking on the page.
I mean, she's seeing exactly what you're seeing, except she doesn't have the drag arounds.
That's weird, because I'm on your site.
Yeah, it is weird.
So
But-
blog,
What about
I,
this one? She has it arranged this way. Yeah. Let's let it be that.
so blog is in the secondary menu.
Oh, you know what? Denise, I'm noticing
Oh.
that on Pippa's screen, she
Mhm.
has the weights and you don't. You have the little arrows.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, that's strange. Let me clear the cache again. Maybe it's just something.
It's like she has either a different template or something. Should
No, it's the same one. You have the same. All the admin pages have one theme.
she clear cache on our end or should we clear?
I just cleared the site cache. It should just be site related, but if not, it could just be your browser cache that.
Okay, let me try then do this to force the browser cache. And hopefully not kill us at the same time. No?
Now, let's say I want blog in the secondary menu and not the primary. How do I move it?
Oh, yes, sorry. So when I was saying before, remember I was saying the drop down, you can decide. So we are only in the main nav. I just realized that. So if you go to your admin menus page, click on secondary menu, and then here you can actually add links to the page.
You just add it there and disable it from the other one.
Yeah, and then you would disable it or delete it from the other one, and
How
you'd
can
have
we
to
delete it from the other one? Because we only get the options of edit and reset. We don't get the option to delete. Is it that Pippa has the wrong permissions? Could that be the issue?
She should have be logged in as her.
And how do I add it?
She's an administrator, right? Yeah, she's an administrator.
Yeah.
She should have exactly the same thing as I do.
How do we-
Just click on there. Click on the box.
I can show you another way to do it as well. So this is more like a structured way so that you can visually see and disable and things like that. But let's say you're creating a new page, and I add a new page here. Let's say I'm just making, I don't know, like a basic page, right? Over in menu settings on the right hand, if you click on provide a menu link, I can put something here. Actually, let me show you a page that actually exists already so I don't have to fill in all these fields. So I'll just do basic page for this one. Okay, so you see how it's automatically populated here? Because I already created a link to this page. So let's say if I create a brand new page, right? In the sidebar, you're going to see this. Provide a menu link. And if you want to add a menu link, I can just do make a title. This is going to be whatever the link title is. And then here you can actually select if you want it in the main nav or not. And then just save the page. And then that'll actually publish that new link. So if I'm creating a new basic page for like financial aid, and I go to that sidebar menu and I click provide a menu link, and I type in financial aid, and then I select main navigation and save the page. Once the cache is cleared, it'll automatically show it right here for you. So that's another way to do it. So that way, if you're creating all these pages and you want that some of them to display in the menu, you can just select that while you're editing the page.
So I don't want blog here. Oh, I can say delete.
Now the permission came up. Yeah, okay. So that one part is fixed. Is that the secondary or the primary? Which one did you click on?
I pulled it out of the primary, but I've already put it in the secondary.
Perfect. So you hit delete there. So you may need to clear the cache. And let me ask you another question, Denise. Why is it that the menus are inconsistent across the pages? Sometimes links show up and sometimes they don't.
That is a good question. I am not sure.
Like right
I would
now,
have to.
see it shows up there. And it's showing up on both, so go to clear cache to see. Manage, clear cache, and then hit that one, clear all caches.
Okay, so you're clearing cache.
Yeah, just give us a second because we want to see if the
Sure.
blog change that Pippa did worked.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I see it. So it looks like it's in the secondary now, right?
Yeah. So you see right now, Pippa's in advertising programs, and she doesn't have that newest link, for example, and she can't see the blog at the top.
And it's cut off on the side.
Yeah, it's cut off funky. See, look, hers is different.
Yeah, and now student work is gross.
Maybe try clearing your browser cache. Maybe it has something to do with that. I'm wondering.
Do, what's your possibly, or your comment? There it is. Go to, scroll down. Solution advanced. Clear browsing data. Okay, uncheck browse history, download history cookies. I'm just gonna clear the cache. That's it. Do that. Clear. Now try to refresh the site. See if that helps. No. Didn't help.
What if I took the menu back to the top?
Try it to see. Press back down. Yeah. But you don't have the secondary one. It clashes. Okay, now we're seeing it, but it's clashing with the top one.
I can't even click on student
Take a
work.
screenshot and email it to her really quick so she
Odd.
can see. We're gonna email you a screenshot so that you can see what she's experiencing.
Okay.
Pay attention back
I'm locked in. Like a laser.
See, now I don't see the secondary, I only see the secondary.
there. Now she's seeing only, yeah, show her that too. See, now she's seeing only the secondary and not the primary. So that's my so I have two things that I need you also to take a look at. Obviously, first we're gonna do the two things, which is student work and blog, to tweak those so that they're perfect. And that way Pippa and her team can keep moving forward while you work on the rest. But one of the things that's really critical is I think you may have missed some formatting tag or some classes on these tags because some of the pages do not line up at 100%. They exceed 100%. So each page has a slight left-right scroll.
Okay. Is it the header like that?
Yeah, you see what you did there? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the view that's pulling in the header information. So that's one of the things that actually I noticed too that's bothering me. So I'm gonna have to fix that.
Now,
Figure
some
out
of them
what
are not as extreme as this one. Some of them just have about half an inch or an inch of play left and right. So that's also a problem. They have to
Right.
be obviously just like
Yeah.
under where it's 100% no wobbling.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. It must be something.
Also, right now, when I click student work, it goes to program, and when I click blog, it goes to student work.
That's odd. You're getting a totally different experience than what she's getting.
Yeah.
Denise, let me ask you, okay, can you try something for me?
Mhm.
I'm noticing you're accessing it via the IP address, and I'm assuming this should have no effect, but out of curiosity, instead of going to the IP address, can you access the site through the domain new.miamiadschool.com? Like
Okay.
that. And see if you get a different experience through that.
Yeah, it looks like student work is still in the main nav rather than just the secondary. Aren't they the same server?
It
Or are they not?
it is the same server, but I'm wondering if Drupal on the back end is somehow configuring the data based on the domain name. That's my concern, like it.
That's a good question. I would have to research that because,
Can you go to student work for a second?
sure.
Main page, okay, you're there. Can you make it so that there's not a border on those pieces of work?
Oh, the gray borders?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay, got it.
In mid-February, we're
Mhm.
having all the directors from all over the world fly in to see this site.
Oh, wow.
No pressure.
So I gotta bust my butt.
You gotta bust your butt, because we were
Oh, yeah.
expecting it to be much
I
further
know.
along. And,
Right.
so we had them fly in, scheduled it a couple months ago, so anyway.
Okay. I'll make sure that it's perfect.
And we have to have time to load, so if you get these 2 sections done beautifully, then we know what, we can start like getting those background images at the top.
Right.
If you get that rendering, then we can start writing the copy and getting those images done and stuff like that, so.
Okay, yeah, I'll work, getting the student work and the blog updated, and I'll have to integrate the search and the filtering. So I'll guess I'll do the student work first, because that's gonna be quicker than the blog, because I have to build that exposed filtering and things like that out. So I'll get the student work done and pushed up for you, and I'll work on the header, because that's going across the whole site, basically.
And actually, on the filtering,
Mhm.
maybe it could be in round 2 and you could work on another section. I mean, if you did some of the cosmetic stuff that allows us to load, does that make sense? Because the filtering,
We can leave that, you mean the block filtering?
yeah, can't we wait on that?
Yeah, we can wait on it.
Does that make sense, Denise?
So can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
If you would do the cosmetic things that allow us to be able to start selecting images and writing copy,
Okay.
then we can be working. So on the blog, the filtering doesn't hold us back. It's just a functional thing. Does
Oh,
that-
I see what you mean. Okay, so
Yeah,
you
that's-
just want all the visuals looking good and everything first, so that way you can start populating, and then they'll be done, and then I can work on the.
Because I've
Yeah.
been kind of sitting on my hands regarding this for
Sure.
a couple of months.
Okay,
waiting
yeah,
to-
so I'll take care of that first then. So I'll work on make the primary, the header, because that's across the whole site, the student work, because that's cosmetic too, and then you can start making sure that's fit your
Right.
needs and start adding whatever you need to.
Right, and
Uh,
the menu at the top.
Yeah, if you can fix the consistency of the menu also, that'd be good, because that way, they can use the menus to navigate the site naturally.
Yeah, and you know what else I just noticed too? I wonder if it has to do with the domain. What page am I on? Because if you look on the 50, like the IP address, the images are showing, but if I go to the actual domain
Yeah, you
name,
see?
they're not. So something,
So I think when you upload it, it links the domain name to some of the resources.
well, aren't they both linking to the same database? Because if they are, it should all be the same.
Do me a favor, go to the one that shows the images,
Okay,
and right-click the image and say inspect.
let's see where it's pointing.
Yeah, so it's pointing
So
to
just
sites.
default files, so.
Okay, now go to the one without, yeah, click obviously on the title, so that we can be close to the image.
Yeah, see, it's not even printing the markup in here. See how it's just an empty div?
Yeah. And I think it has to do with the domain. And I think it's probably some internal functionality for multi-domain sites.
That's a good question. I'll have to look into that a little more.
Also, the program page.
Look, you see right there, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
You see right there, public file-based URL? I know
This
what,
is,
yeah, but let's do one more test. Sorry that I'm kind of getting all excited here, but
no,
go back to the image, the one that shows the image.
okay,
Right-click the page, and this time we're gonna look at the tags in the header. Look for a tag called base. All the way in the header, up, right there. See if there's one called base.
I do not see one.
I guess something is linking it to that URL. Can we go further? No. It's just so long.
Is this all the styling?
Does he auto-generate any styles? It.
What it?
Because I'm thinking that somewhere it may be generating some sort of relationship between style sheets or file resources and stuff like that to the domain itself, to the URL, to the actual URL.
Let me look into seeing, because basically this, I guess, would be like a multi-domain site. Is that right?
Well, that's what it's
Uh,
behaving. That's what it's behaving like. I think that's why you have a much richer experience than what we have, because you got everything you've developed, and we're only getting the pieces that are coming through when the domain changes to the new .NET.
Right. That's odd. Let me look into that a little more, because that might, maybe there's some kind of something you can add to like the settings PHP or something file. Because other than that, I wouldn't be sure offhand, because I know that it's automatically stores, all the files and everything just directly in like site's default. So it must have something to do with maybe setting the base URL or something like that in the settings PHP, possibly, which might actually fix the issue.
All right, whatever you need, just let me know, and I'll plug it in as soon as you have it.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out, because that is weird, because now that I'm on the other one, it's like a lot of the things that should be there aren't there.
Right. So here we're thinking that you're not as far along as you are, and you're a tad bit further than what we could visualize.
It's odd. I'm trying to think of why the heck.
So maybe you're getting more stuff, right?
Yeah, I gotta look into that.
It's more stable.
2 domains. But after I get these done, I should be able to push up the program and the location content type too, because the content types I think should be set while I finalize the countdown, after this is all done. Because that way you can start entering content on those too. And then, but yeah, that's very strange.
And this is gonna be a big issue, because once we're done, the domain name is gonna switch to
Yeah.
www.
Right. Yeah, I bet you it's probably just something within the file system in the root, something with the URL. So I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'll check into that. I'll let you know ASAP though.
Yep, as soon as you know, call me. I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night, you call me and I'll plug it in.
Okay, sounds good. I'll look at that first though, because that's like a bigger issue, because if that's what the domain you're using and it's not there, then that doesn't make sense.
For the time, okay, so we're gonna meet again Wednesday as we scheduled. So what do you think? Do you think you'll have both student work and blog hashed out?
I hope so. The student work will definitely be done. The blog, the header, all that header and all that stuff too. The blog, I'm going to look into. Hopefully, I can have like the filtering system finished by Wednesday before our meeting.
Well, remember,
If not,
don't worry about the filter right now. Let's focus on
all the
getting
cosmetic.
the cosmetic working so that it's stable. Because you can always add these little things back, quietly
Right.
at the end. But we really need the site to be pristine when the directors
Right.
get here. So
Okay.
we want them to say wow, and
Okay,
as
got
it sits, currently it's not gonna get a wow.
Okay.
Can you go to the international student page?
Yeah, actually, that is going to change, because I'm pushing up. Remember when we revamped and I was mentioning, because it's just like a one-off page. So that's going to be basically be part of the, what's it called? The basic page content type. So that way we can add like multiple of them. So I'm going to push up the basic page content type, so that way you can we can bang out all these sub pages and international students, financial aid, and we can start placing them in the sidebar. Because once we start positioning them where they belong in the structure of the menu system, it'll auto generate that little sidebar menu.
Can you scroll down?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't have any content on this one, but Yes, don't worry, I know this is something
No,
that we need.
I had loaded content.
Oh, I'm looking on my local, sorry.
So at the very top,
Mm-hmm.
on these, can we pick whether you make it a light or a dark filter at the top?
Ooh,
Because like on the theme, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light. The filter that goes over the top hero image.
right, that they have actually set through CSS, not through the content management system. They have that hard coded, so that way, they can have some pages darker, some pages lighter, just to show you what you can do with it. Having a selection,
Like this page I would like light, but another page I would like dark. Can I tell you what I want on each page?
yeah, that would probably be the easier way to do it, because then I can just construct it, by adding the CSS, and it'll automatically do it for you.
So this one I would like light, I think, with dark type.
Okay, so when you say light, are you referring to the background image, or are you talking about the overlay on it?
The background image should be lights.
The overlay on that particular one makes that image darker.
Right. So it should cause it to be pale.
Uh-huh.
So like dark overlay, is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Correct.
I'll send you the URL.
A light overlay instead, yeah. And then scroll down some more.
Mm-hmm.
This was an accordion, but it doesn't open and close.
Yes, that's actually something that I'm working on,
Okay,
because
cool.
that's something with the JavaScript
Okay,
functionality that I have to add in, so.
okay,
But that accordion style is gonna be set when I push up the basic page content type.
sounds good.
So that way it'll be across the whole board.
Perfect,
Every page can be styled as needed.
perfect.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm gonna take care of all the cosmetics and the headers and all that good.
Some of the headers, like this one I like dark, but some I would like, I don't
Okay.
know.
Here's what I want to do. So as we can, be organized and tackle this. Again, for Wednesday, we're only going to focus on student work and blog.
Unless you finish those and can do more.
Right. Now, you finish those
Right.
early, you let me know, and then I'll talk to Pippa, and I have a list of changes that'll happen here, visual tweaks that need to happen, and
Mhm.
then we can tackle this one and a few others.
Yeah, well, actually, student work, blog, header, logo,
Right, those are for Wednesday.
menu.
Right. So it's the logo, the stability of the menu, the blog, student work, and the stability of the header.
Okay, so I have them all in my notes. If you can also reiterate and send an email out to me, just with those bullet points, so that way I'll have it too, so I can cross it off to make sure I didn't miss anything.
It's going out right now.
Perfect. And then I'll get my butt moving and make sure that that's done ASAP.
So that's gonna be, I know if you're midstream on something right now, you can go ahead and, finish that up and push it, and then let's focus on those items for Wednesday.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I gotta fix that JavaScript thing with the carousel, so I gotta figure out what that is.
But don't let it eat too much, well, it's part of, the carousel's part of the blog, so.
It's kind of the cosmetic, the look and feel, so I gotta make sure that
Yeah.
that's all good, but it should be. Because it was yesterday or early this morning it was, so all of a sudden it's not. So it's probably just something I just recently did.
And I'm gonna look into that whole blog thing, the domain issue as well.
Okay, I'll quickly see too, because I might have a few links that I can send to you to look at.
I just wanna make sure that, both of us finding it, maybe whoever finds it first, just, sends the
Sure.
information, resolves it, and gets, if I find something that'll help you, I'll send it your way. If it works, perfect. If it doesn't, I'll keep looking.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. That sounds good. Do you want me to, you mentioned all the cosmetics, so do you want me to hold off on adding the search then? Or do you want me to add that in for,
Finish these cosmetics, and then
do it? Okay.
I'll add that to the list, but these are must-haves, and those are if you get it done.
Right, if you get
But
it
I'm getting super scared about meeting our deadlines, because I'm gonna have doesn't really upset people,
I'll make sure it's done.
okay, coming in a month that are gonna kill me if they've come for no reason.
Oh,
And
no,
I'm
yeah,
scared
definitely,
because
I'll make
people's
sure
gonna
it's
kill
done,
me
don't
if
worry.
they arrive.
So if you have, whatever list you have, even if it's something we talked about, just send it my way or create a ticket or however you want to do it, so that way I can keep track of them. And as we go along, once I get this stuff done, I can start working through your list while I'm doing the other stuff, so we can start going like maybe section by section or things like that, rather than jumping around all. Like you see how we're doing like student work and making sure that's polished. It'll probably be easier to do it this way rather than me having to jump around all different sections.
Definitely.
Okay, that sounds good. So. Okay, good. And if anything else comes up, just let me know. But I know what I need to work on, so I'll make sure that's
Yeah, so
looking good.
like I said, anything else pops up, we're just gonna start making notes and then we're just gonna keep organizing in batches like this so that we can, because once we complete an entire section, Pippa can assign somebody to start doing work on that section. And
Right.
that way the site gets further along.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Anything else, guys?
I think I'm okay for now. I think I know what I need to do.
Hold on one second, Blog, did you have any questions for Blog? Because that's one of the things.
Yeah, on the type for the headers, you can just
Mhm.
follow what's on, the templates that are already existing.
Which templates are you referring to? The
Wander
ones from the
templates.
Wander or?
Yeah, Wander.
Okay,
Because sometimes they're inverted right now. Sometimes your H2 is displaying below the H1. And the fonts
Okay.
aren't the right sizes and stuff like that.
got it, right. So, because I noticed that some of the pages are different, have different typeset, like hero images than some other pages.
Yeah, like
Like-
the home page is, yeah, well, the secondary pages that we're working on right now, I don't need secondary, like blog and student work, get the same treatment and reviews. I think, yeah,
I forget what the student work looks like. Okay, yeah, so student work has like the title and it has the little bar underneath that's going to be pink,
Yes.
and then the sub menu.
Exactly. So
This is the node, and let me just go over real quick. International students, that's the same, so that's
Yeah.
good. So that one's just, so what I can do is just make the static header, when you're uploading a hero, and then you just put like static header, and it's just one image, and then the text.
I think it's probably gonna be different when we get to programs and locations and homepage.
Okay, right. Well, I can just target those a little differently, so.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Okay, got it. Sounds good. Yeah, if there's anything else that you wanted to mention.
Student, what is the word for the template? It says
Student work here.
okay, so you see at the top, those chevrons and the little house?
Mm-hmm.
We want exactly that icon.
It's on our homepage, it's on our existing site on
It's
student
from-
work.
It's like, font icon or fabulous.
Right.
Font fantastic, whatever it is. So if you can
Right.
include those fonts, they have the chevrons and the house that we like. And if you can make them smaller, so they're less,
Like
Okay,
on
so-
our existing site. Oh, something else in the student work, I thought about that. Okay.
Where do you have the icon so I can see
Student
which
work.
one it was?
If
It's on the
you-
student work page.
well, if you go to font
Well-
awesome,
Yeah, and then pick on a year, like 2016.
Oh, so it's an actual font awesome icon?
yes, it's a font. So you'd be able to use something like a class like FA house or something.
Now click on a picture, yeah. Now you'll see it above that.
Got it, okay.
So you see, or it's really just a font. You see
Right,
FA home.
right, okay.
So if you go to if you Google font awesome,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find where
That house icon is,
Yeah,
okay,
you
got
can-
it.
download the font and include it and all that.
One other thing about formatting. Do you see on our page, on the right-hand side, where it says students? and then it says the name, and then tightly, it says art direction on Humber.
Yes.
Now, if you go to our current site that you're programming, it's much less clear, if you can look at it. We would like it like our current site.
Let me see. It's
Right there, student work. Yeah. So you see, the name should be a little bit bolder, and then you see how
The
ours is a little
program.
bolder,
right.
and then our
Right.
direction in Hamburg, the city and the program should be tighter. The line height should be smaller, basically. So it should look like little groups.
Right. Got it. Yeah, definitely. I
So
see what you mean.
look closely at what we have existing and then try to mimic it. Because that
Sure.
mimicking will be the same on all the right-hand menus, like on the location pages and program pages.
Right. I just want to see if, okay, so it looks the same on here. Okay, so yeah, I'll take a look at that. I'll make sure that it matches up. And I'll add the little,
Chevrons, and that's for
Yeah.
again, that's from the same font family, the Font Awesome.
And see
Got
when you roll over it, it turns it a color,
mm-hmm.
and I
Yep.
don't think we get any rollover right now.
Yeah, if you can provide rollovers for the links to also be that magenta color that I texted you.
Yes.
Instead of the line, have it be a color.
Right, yeah, I'll take care of that. So I'll make it so all the links across the site have the same effect.
I like the color there.
Have the pink cover. Okay. Got it. Oh, what's that? That has to be removed.
The colors.
But yeah, I redid the student works, the fields, so I'll push that up for you so you can see that and let me know what you think.
Great.
And I'll tweak the rest of it. Okay, sounds good.
And the house should not be blue. Those should all be either black or gray, whatever is the.
Right. Let's see which. Okay, I'll fix that.
And the house really needs to be in the middle,
Okay.
so we gotta find a way to fix that, or I guess,
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I wonder if I can just.
because if it's being generated automatically, maybe we need to then you generate it and then attach whatever scripting to it to work properly.
Yeah, let me look at. I'll take a look at that so I can move that. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And oh, so this is the pink here, right? This color pink.
That's correct. That's the
Okay,
magenta.
I just realized I can actually grab it from here. Okay. Sounds good. It's odd. And you're going to send me a list too of the things that.
Yeah, Pippa's sending it right now.
Okay. Okay. Good. I have mine too, but I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Sounds good.
On the top menu, the filters, the save filter, she's already done. She's already done.
So you're gonna add the site search in the top menu, right?
Yes. And you want it to be where it's an icon that does that, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And did you want that over,
Secondary, primary.
like, to the right?
So to the right of primary menu,
Don't you think?
yeah, that needs to be prominent, because
It makes people use it more.
yes. We want them to search, because if they're not finding what they want. Let me ask you a question, this is not for now, but this is a later thing,
Mm-hmm.
or a phase 2 thing.
Okay.
Is it possible to later collect the search terms that people are using in the search, so that we can later analyze them and understand what it is that people are looking for that they can't find?
Good question. I can look into that for you and see if there's a way that we can build that within Drupal.
Make it as a note, but we're not gonna focus on that functionality or researching that right now. But let's make it as a note, because I think it'll be very important for us to understand where we are failing in terms of providing the content.
Okay, I'll research that later.
So we're good?
We're good.
You know, something,
Okay.
something I ran into, is there any way to mix the text with the images? I was trying to,
In the internet.
okay.
I'll show you that. All right, so we're good, Denise.
Okay, that sounds good. So I'll get working and I'll look for your email, and then if anything else comes up, just let me know if we forgot anything.
I think Pip already sent it out, so you should have it in your box.
Okay, perfect.
Wednesday at 1?
I think it was 1.
All right, so Wednesday at 1, we're scheduled.
Okay, that sounds good. Perfect.
All right, thank you, Denise.
Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.